Hello there, this is DVT, and these are the Runes. And alright, it's time to continue playing some more Asphalt 8. What? 2 Asphalt 8 videos in a row? That's right, I'll explain. But first, what we're doing today is we're gonna be attempting to reach Elite League in Master Season of Multiplayer, which is a type of video that I normally don't do because I don't think it's necessarily exactly what I want to show, but I'll explain. Today is a peculiar day in regards to what we're doing. So, first off, I'm actually going to be playing with the card you just saw. It's going to be with the Lamborghini, not this one. Aventador Super Veloce. Oh, what a beautiful car. I still don't understand why they put this on Class S, and yet the better version, the SVJ, they put it on Class A. Sure, Game Love, you make a lot of sense. But anyway, it's a beautiful car nonetheless, and that's what we're gonna be using today. As I said, I'm gonna be trying to reach a lead. Right now, I'm in the whatever this league is, Gold League or whatever it's called. So let me use some of my boosters and let's proceed to try to get some results. I don't know. I don't make promises. All right. So first of all, I want to say that this is not a pro test of this car. In fact, this is not the only car I'm gonna be using in this video. We'll switch to another car later in the video, so stay tuned. But yeah, this is not a pro test. Normally the pro tests that I do, they are in Classic Season, and the reason for that, this is obviously Master Season as I mentioned earlier. The reason I don't do pro tests over here is because it's very often that you encounter people with lower ranked cars, so that gives the wrong idea as to how the car performs. And on top of that, you also encounter people who are not triple boosted. So there's a little bit of everything in Master Season, and that's why normally when I want to do a pro test or a test of a car at a pro rank, or even if it's MP2, I like doing it in the Classic Season, in the bracket where it belongs against its natural competition, you know? So yeah, this is not a pro test, and I don't like doing pro tests in Master Season, so that's not what we're doing over here. Now, as to why we got a second Asphalt 8 video in a row, I mean, I don't think you guys are gonna complain about it. But today's video was gonna be something else entirely, and oh man, I was so excited for it, but unfortunately it didn't quite pan out, at least not yet. Alright, so the first race we got a first place against the Koenigsegg Agera RS, and the rest were underranked or unboosted. See, this is what I'm saying. This doesn't quite... Oh, look at that! We were already on the... We were, well, 1 point short of reaching this league. Alright, great. We just need to advance one single league. That's kind of dope, I guess. Alright, cool. And of course, my objective is to get to Elite League because I want those 300,000 credits and fusion coins and some of these things too, but hey, it's mostly about the currencies. Now, I hate that it switches me back to what in theory is my best car, very much in theory, instead of letting me continue to use the car that I was happily using, but okay. So let's continue using the Super Veloce for a little bit. Where is it? There it is. Super Veloce just for a little longer, and then we'll switch. So what was the video for today? What was the video for today gonna be about? Asphalt 8 Plus. What? Yes, I'm gonna be playing Asphalt 8 Plus. I've never been too big a fan of Apple devices, and I don't like using iPhones or iPads or anything like that. At least not in a consistent manner. Not like a phone, an iPhone. I don't like using that. Maybe an iPad just to kill some time, perhaps. But overall, I'm not a huge fan of Apple devices and the way they work, and I don't want this to become a rant on why I don't like Apple devices. My point is that once I saw that, you know, when was it, like 2 years ago, whenever it was that Asphalt 8 Plus was announced, I was so hyped about the idea, because in case you don't know, Asphalt 8 Plus, it's Asphalt 8, granted like an older version of Asphalt 8, but rebalanced and without microtransactions. So instead it's more like a regular, let's call it proper video game, where you can make progress, you can get the cars, you make progression in the career, get your resources and unlock cars without having to pay extra money for it. Granted, that makes it so that the game is actually not free. In order to play the game, you need to have the Apple Arcade subscription, which is like $5 a month or something like that. But honestly, $5 a month for a game that allows me to get cars proper without having to spend $10 constantly in festivals and all of that, that seemed like a good deal. I'll talk more about it in a second, but okay, so I beat an oh, look at that! Oh my god, that's gonna look cool. Okay, I need to look at that podium because man, that's gonna look cool. Aventador Cien and Centenario. Lambo power, baby! Lambo power! Okay. Let's look at that. Oh yeah, baby, look at that. Lambos. I don't like that both the other two. Oh, that kind of looks cool. Black and red, and mine is completely white. So anyway, coming back to the Asphalt 8 Plus, yeah, it's not officially a free game. You have to pay in order to get access. Well, technically, the very first month is free because you get a free trial of the Apple Arcade. But after that, you have to pay your $5 a month to get access to the general library of Apple Arcade. Now, I will talk much more about how this entire game works and all of that in its own video, or videos, because I do plan to make a bit of a series on that. Because, man, the idea of being able to unlock cars through regular progression rather than through microtransactions and hyper grinding and all of that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I imagine that there's still some grinding required. But from what I understand, the grinding is much less than, you know, in the global version. So we'll see what that's about, how that works. That's precisely what I want to make some videos on it now. And like I said, that was going to be the video for today, but unfortunately, I was having some issues with a bunch of things. Like I said, I don't really use Apple devices. I've used them before, but I'm not a huge fan. So having to set up again the iPhone where I'm gonna be playing for my account, payments, and security and all of that, it was such a pain in the rear that it took way too much time today for me to set it up, and I did not have time to record a video because those are gonna require some extra editing. It's a bit of a mess. It's gonna be a bit difficult for me to record them, but I'm gonna do it nonetheless. All right, next race, beating everybody. Batista, Centenario, and that's it. Everybody else is underranked or unboosted. But see what I'm saying? I feel like in general, Master Season it's kind of easier, to be honest. So you know that this version of the game, well, I play it on an emulator, right? At least when I'm recording this, and I play with a keyboard and I'm very comfortable playing like this. However, the Apple version, well, the Asphalt 8 Plus, I'm gonna have to play it in the actual iPhone, and I'm not nearly as good. For example, I cannot really do punch drifts easily because of my setup on the buttons and all of that. So it's gonna be difficult. I'm gonna be playing worse, but hey, I'm so willing to try it out. And like I was saying, it's gonna be a bit of a pain to record because it's gonna record it in an odd resolution, and then I have to do some extra editing to make it fit on the screen and look okay in YouTube, and then also record my voice separately. It's gonna be quite a bit of a challenge, but I'm willing to do it just because I'm really curious to see what this game, Asphalt 8, would feel like if it wasn't the pay-to-win mess. Alright, that was my bad. If it wasn't the pay-to-win mess that it is right now, and that it has become for the past, I don't know how many years. So yeah, I've always said, I like putting my money where my mouth is, and I've always said that, oh, I would be so happy if they were to say, hey, I'm gonna charge you $90, $100 to get this game, Asphalt 8, but with proper progression. I'll be like, yeah, I'll pay it. You know, I'm willing to pay a bunch of money to get a full game rather than a free-to-play nonsense with all the microtransactions and all the pay-to-win mechanics and all of that. So yeah, that's kind of the idea why I want to do that. All right, the LVN beat me because I crashed, but I did beat Batista, Silver Lightning, but not fully upgraded, and everything else same thing, unboosted or underranked. Okay, it's fine. Now, coming back to this version that we're actually playing, precisely as I was saying, I feel like Master Season overall tends to be easier. Maybe at the Elite or Max, yeah, it's Elite League, the biggest, I mean the highest one, right? So I think maybe there you can get more challenges, but for the most part, so long as you're not playing within the first couple of days when the season was released, the rest of the time it's relatively easy to do, and that is why I like bringing some cars that I consider to be not necessarily underpowered, maybe a little bit. Well, to be fair, this Lambo, the problem with it is just maybe that it's kind of stiff, but the nitro is really good, acceleration is pretty alright, so overall it's mostly the handling that makes it suffer, so I don't necessarily consider this to be very underpowered. But for example, over here is where I like to use a lot my Apollo Intensa Emozione, which is the car that we're gonna be using, don't tell anybody. because that car, it's a beauty of a car, but the nitro, man, it really suffers. And honestly, using that in Classic Season can really be a bit of a problem. Now, granted, if I'm just chilling in Classic Season, I will also use these cars over there. But over here, I get to hit 2 birds with 1 stone, and that is doing some races with these cars and also ranking up to get to my 300,000 fusion coins. All right, we beat the Batista, and an Arash. Look at that, beating kings or something. I don't know. All right, let's swap car, because might as well. All right, so switch to my beauty of the Apollo Intensa Emozioni. Now, quite a switch, because we were just using a fully white car and now we're going for a fully black car, but hey, it's all right. I keep saying, when are we gonna get color options for some of these cars that are all in black or extremely dark colors, huh? Game Love, please. I know it's relatively easy to do, so please just add, if only for this car, come on. Well, and the Agera RS would be kind of cool too. Oh, Jesus Christ. In a way, I kind of feel like they did my beauty of the Apollo IE kind of dirty because of the very low nitro, but I mean, I know that there's worse nitros in classes. I remember I was really excited when the Aston Martin Valhalla came out. I was like, whatever. I really wanted to see the Valkyrie because I think the Valkyrie is a cooler looking car. And then I learned that it also had absolute Garbo Nitro. I'm like, oh boy. So in a way, at least this looks, it might also have bad Nitro, but it looks cool. Much cooler than those cars. So that's something, I suppose. All right, Faraday and Batista, and that's it. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying about, oh, wait a second. Oh, we just ranked up. Fantastic. Give me my 300,000. Yeah, baby. Also, let's see that podium. Okay, cool. All right. Come on, give me. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, all right. Fantastic. Now, once I reach this point, I don't really play that much more, unless I'm really grinding for credits. But right now, I'm quite alright on credits. I don't really think I'm gonna be grinding a lot after in this multiplayer series until it finishes. So why don't you tell me in the comments what you think about Master Season? Do you also find it to be somewhat easier? And if so, or more like if you don't find it easy, do you have full 1860 cars boosted? Or are you, maybe you do have that, but you're playing it on the first days? Because like I said, I do believe that, oh Jesus Christ, I'm gonna crash, no! Here I am talking, oh, this is easier, and instantly I got to lose the race. But yeah, so I'm curious to know if you find this easier, harder in general than the Classic Season. Because I've told you my thoughts on it, but I'm really curious to know. It's not, obviously, I'm not trying to suggest it in a way that I'm a great player, but I do have a decent garage and I have a ton of boosters. So in that sense, I'm pretty safe. But I wonder what's everybody else's experience with this. And overall, what do you enjoy playing more, Master Season or Classic Season? Assuming you're in Elite in both, which one you would rather spend your time playing? I think it's a very valid question. The reality is that I think that the Master Season was added as a way to appease the people that really wanted to play with their S-Class cars all the time, which is understandable. I don't necessarily like only to race with Class S. There's a lot of other interesting cars and other ranks, but I think that's why they added it. And I find it interesting because they were supposed to be changing the rules of Master Season from time to time. The description says so, but they never did. Alright, so because of my wreck, I did not get very high. Oh, it would have been nice to have the Apollo and 2 Centenaries up there. Oh well, fine, let's try again. That would have been a nice podium. Now, let the record... Oh, what happened with my music? Let the record show that I'm not saying that Asphalt 8 should copy Asphalt 9, but Asphalt 9 does have this very fun system in multiplayer where there's indeed 2 series. One is called just, well, we just call them MP1 and MP2. MP1 is the one that lasts 2 weeks, and it's very predictable. Not once, oh my god. One series is gonna be normal multiplayer. Then once that MP1 ends, the next series of MP1 is gonna be, for example, Ghost with no collision, and once that's over, we go back to regular multiplayer. And then there's MP2, in which they do a bunch of different things, like for example, that's where they do the multiplayer free tries of the cars feature, the new fanciest cars in the game. Like for example, as I'm recording this, right now there's a free try season in Asphalt 9 to try the Faraday FF Future, because that thing was just, well, it was added quite a while back, but it was only released now. And yeah, you get to try that car for free. Granted, you do have the usual limitation of the 3 fuel, which is very annoying, but I think that's a cool thing that they're doing to allow you to test cars and for you to decide if you want to go for the car or not, to be like, oh, that's a nice car or whatever. Alright, so ever since I reached the Elite League over here, I'm doing terrible. Understood. So what happened there? Batista, McLaren, even a Silver Lightning beat me, an unboosted Silver Lightning. Jesus Christ, focus DVT. Oh, look at that, Alps is there. What's up, Alps? But yeah, speaking of the Faraday Future in Asphalt 9, kind of funny, it's not electric in that game. It vrooms, and suddenly that made it feel so much better. Although, to be completely honest, Faraday Future in Asphalt 8, king status. Faraday Future in Asphalt 9 is just a meh Class S car. It's not bad, but you know, nothing amazing either, so it doesn't compare in any way to the performance of the car in this game. Granted, physics and everything are very different, but still, it's not an amazing car over there, but whatever. My point was that, indeed, Asphalt 9 does have this thing where the multiplayer seasons are very varied, and I was hoping to see, oh Jesus, I was gonna ring out. I was hoping to see indeed more of that over here in Asphalt 8. Again, not necessarily exactly the same, but yeah, the moment that I saw that Master Season supposedly could have different rule sets, I thought, hey, that actually sounds good. Maybe we could have, I don't know, indeed like a Ghost Season in Master Season, which is gonna be just like regular multiplayer, but in Ghost mode. Or I don't know, I actually do have several ideas of what they could do, but I found kind of sad that Master Season, since its introduction, has just been the same. Just use your Class S car, whatever is your best car, and just roll with it. I mean, granted, I also like using some Class A from time to time, at least until I make it to Elite. Then in Elite, I start using Class S again, but still kind of the same idea. Wait, what? The car is out? What? I don't understand. So anyway, I don't know what was that with the Deus Vayen. I know that that's a card that is gonna be coming eventually, I think. I don't understand what was that, but anyway, moving on. Yes, I don't know. I really hope that eventually they do something, because you know how they now Gameloft did add the, let's call it MP3, the third series of multiplayer over here in Asphalt 8. Like, oh my god, you mother. The third series of multiplayer, like the one they just did for the oh my god, I can control my car. What's happening? For the St. Valentine's, you know, that was a horrible season. But you also remember the Oktoberfest season? Like, I think that's what Master Season should be like, or at least the slot of Master Season. My problem is that by having 3 separate multiplayer season, it's splitting the player base more and more. In fact, I think it was in the previous video that I was talking about how when the Valentine season was going on, the lobbies in the regular seasons were considerably empty. And it makes sense because, I mean, it's still the same amount of players, but if you add more places to split them, well, obviously you're gonna find less and less players in each one of them. So I think that what they should, oh Jesus Christ, really, a phone call right now? Hold up, I gotta pick up the phone. All right. Sorry, I had to make a little pause over there because Jesus Christ, I've been getting so many spam calls lately. I'm just having to block numbers left and right. But anyway, where was I? What was I talking about? That I got destroyed again. What's happening with me? I was doing all right. Well, like that is kind of like I said, right? The earlier seasons are the easier ones. Once you get to Elite, that's when you start finding more and more harder opponents. And again, this is where I think it's still what you would expect. But anyway, might as well talk while this thing is loading, because yes. But yeah, so what I think Game Love should do is keep the normal classic season, because that is just the normal multiplayer for Asphalt 8. Then have, in place of Master Season, call it whatever you want, or maybe it should still be called Master Season, because I think that was the idea. Master Season was gonna refer to just this secondary series of multiplayer, which was gonna have morphing rules. And okay, keep it like that, or if you want, just name it to something else, and just have that one indeed to be changing rules. I don't know, maybe want to do an Asphalt 9 and do it week by week rather than 2 weeks, or keep it 2 weeks. I don't know, I don't care. I guess it would be better to do it week by week in case some people aren't super interested. For example, if there is like, I don't know, like I was saying, a ghosting mode, a season where there's no collision between the cars, and for some reason some people that don't have anything better to do with their life just like knocking down other players, they're gonna find that very boring, so they're not gonna want to participate on it. Well, the season is gonna last only 1 week, right? So I think that would be more bearable overall. But yeah, having morphing rules I think would be the best thing to do, because that would inject the game with so much more so many new things to do, even if it's just week by week, you know? Sadly, as it stands right now, the game is, in my opinion, in a very, very boring state. They're barely... Oh, Jesus, I didn't mean to take that jump so high. And that Faraday just passed me again. Oh, wait, is he unboosted? Why am I overtaking him? What just happened? All right, I'm willing to say that was either not fully upgraded or unboosted. It doesn't make sense. Where is it? Faraday. No, it was. Then he probably ran out of nitro. Okay, well. Overall, 3rd place, at least it's better than the results I had gotten in the previous races. But, oh boy, my boosters are gone so quickly. Jesus Christ. There we go. Did a bit more of my boosters, just because reasons. We need to do a couple more races. But yeah, as I was saying, as it stands right now, I feel like the game is in a very boring state. And I think I'm not alone on thinking this. The game, as someone put it, I think it was on Discord, I saw a screenshot of a comment, I believe from the official Discord. Someone said that the game is very directionless, and I have to agree with that. It's just that, as it stands, I think Game Love to spend quite a... Oh my god! This thing drifts good enough where I hit the inside of the turn. But Game Love to spend a bunch of time on adding this new fancy mechanic, right? Oh god! The Treasure Rush. I have expressed my thoughts on it, on how much I hate it, but overall, yeah, they had to have spent a bunch of time on developing that thing, bug testing it and all of that. That was a lot of development time spent in that. And yeah, it's another monetization system, but they're focusing so hard in finding monetization system that I think they are forgetting about the important part, which is keeping the players interested. And as it stands, the game doesn't have a whole lot to keep us interested. Granted, if you're addicted to the game... Okay, what happened in that race? Faraday, I beat a Cyan, boosted, and an Arash. Okay. If you're super addicted to the game, you want to be playing multiplayer often, and that is what's keeping the game alive, for sure. But as far as some other people, even myself included, in spite of the fact that I enjoy the game a lot and all of that, sometimes I'm like, do I open the game to play my 10 multiplayer races to grind for my credits? Not today. You know, that has happened. In fact, I was supposed to reach a lead like a couple days ago, but for the last couple of days I didn't play Master because I'm like, whatever. And again, it's not that I'm saying, oh, the game is garbage or anything like that, but it's that as it stands right now, there's just nothing exciting going on. Oh, there's gonna be a new car hunt, yay, where you can only get the new featured car, if it's a new car to begin with. If it's a new car, you can only get it by premium. If it's not even new, well, there's nothing new. Then the Treasure Rush, there's been 2 Treasure Rush since December, right? Was that when that was introduced? So 2 Treasure Rush in a span of like 2 months. Like, really? That's supposed to keep us interested. What is happening? They're not adding, not even new... I mean, I understand new tracks is not something that Game Love can monetize. They cannot sell you a new track, but that's what I'm saying. It feels like right now Game Love is focusing so hard in their monetization systems that they're forgetting that player needs something to play, something interesting, something new to do. And that doesn't mean, a new roulette system where you can spend money. No, we want something interesting. And like I said, I think adding new tracks would be fantastic, or simply add a new version of multiplayer with interesting rules instead of rotating the same thing. It's kind of the same with the TLEs. The TLEs right now are on perpetual rotation. You know what TLE is gonna be happening? There's nothing new. Even the discount cups are gone. I mean, what is there left new to do in the game? There's nothing, and there hasn't been anything new for a while. And I know that this is suddenly becoming into a rant, but might as well, right? We're here, might as well spend my boosters. But yeah, overall, the game is really, I mean, Gameloft is really messing up over here. I know that they're doing a bunch of rebalances to the car, and that's fantastic. That makes a lot of cars usable again, and that adds, you know, you can use your garage. Like I've explained a bunch of times, I'm not against the rebalances, but in fact, I'm very much for the rebalances. But when are we gonna get a new track? Even, I've said it in a bunch of videos and I still want to make a video about it. We need, at the very least, some track variation, something to make it more interesting. You know how in the Grand Cup, no, it's not Grand Cup, what is it called? That championship thingy on the TLEs that you have to compete for 5 days or however long. You know how that has edited versions of the track? We need more things like that. Imagine even playing Transylvania, but some other routes blocked and new ramps in different places and all. At least it makes you try to find what is in this version of the track the best route, you know? At least it provides something to be interested in. Because I understand creating a new track, it's definitely very time consuming. And like I said, it's not something, Jesus Christ. It's not something that Gameloft can monetize. So it's a lot of man hours into creating the new track, and they're not gonna make a dime from it. At least not directly, but what I think, I don't know if this is what they're thinking or not, but if they're thinking like, yeah, we're not gonna make money from making a track, I think with that mindset, what's being missed is the fact that if you add a new track, more people are gonna be interested. Oh, let me try the game again, and oh, you know what? Every couple months we're getting a new track, and oh yeah, maybe I should continue playing. Oh yeah, now there's a new car. And because I'm interested on the new track, well, I want to use that new car also, so maybe they'll start spending. But as it stands, if there's... Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, Nitro issues, man. If there's nothing new to do, there's no reason for me to be interested. If I had quit the game, there would be no reason for me to be interested. Oh, there's a new car that I don't care about. So, how is that supposed to bring me, you know? So yeah, I know this went into a little bit of a rant, but I can't help it. The game is seriously struggling right now. And I don't know, I feel like the player base is probably dwindling. Because, seriously, it's so boring. That whole thing with the car hunts, what is that about? Not even new cars anymore. We used to get at least one new car every 10 days. And while I was uninterested in 80% of the cars, at least you would get a relatively constant influx of new cars. But now, how many new cars have there been? Very few. I know that there's gonna be, they have been teasing on their media channels that there's gonna be a new car hunt for, I think it's a Nissan Z or something. But yeah, other than that, how many car hunts have been of repeat cars? So granted, I'm still doing the objectives in the car hunts to get the free car at tier 50 in case I don't have it. But for people that already have them, why are they interested in doing any of that? There's no reason for it. So yeah, I just wanted to give you a little bit of my thoughts. That wasn't the intention of this video, but hey, might as well. Since this is not the video that was planned for today, we just went a little bit off script, or rather unscripted, and this is what we got. But if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and all of that good stuff. Why don't you check yesterday's video where I played with the Ferrari FXX Evoluzione, and if you're not interested in that, check this other video, which is something related to Asphalt. I don't know what it is. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.